people of all times, beware, where the carcass is, there the vultures gather, so watch out for them. Soon after the misery of that faraway time, sun and moon will lose their luster, comets will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will begin to sway. The makeup of the earth's sky and air will be disturbed, and the land will burn because of the black oil of the earth, ignited by people's craving for power. The sky will darken because of smoke and fire, which will rage for 1,000 days, and everything above the burning land and far beyond will be covered with black soot. Consequently, the weather will break down, and severe cold and much death will come over the people, plants and animals, and over the earth, as the result of the senselessly unleashed forces of the people who live in lust for power, evil passions and vices. And then signs will appear in the sky, and all earth humans will wail and come to see the signs in the clouds of the sky that bear witness to great power and severe judgment against irrationality. So God is Lord over the three human lineages, yet the laws and directives of creation are eternally valid. Through these laws and directives, which represent creation, humankind in its irrationality will bring cruel judgment upon itself. Humans owe their existence to God, who is the ruler over them, so they must follow His commandments and respect Him as the greatest King of wisdom. In days to come, He will send forth His guardian angels who will sound their trumpets and call together His trusted followers from the four directions, from one end of the earth to the other. Do learn a parable from the fig tree. When its branch puts forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So will it also be for the people of that time. When they see all this transpire, they may know that these events are upon them. Truly, truly, I say to you, this is how it will be. And that generation will not pass away until all of this has happened. At some future time the heavens and the earth will pass away, and so will the universe, but my words will not pass away because they are the words of truth within the laws of creation. No one knows the day or hour when this will all take place, not the guardian angels nor God Himself nor I, Jmmanuel, but only Providence and Destiny know this through the laws and directives of creation, which possesses the greatest wisdom. Creation alone stands far above all humankind, and it alone deserves honor and praise, just as it renders honor and praise to the absolute power absolutum, above it. If people respect and honor God, and if above Him they recognize, honor, esteem and acknowledge only creation as the supreme power, then they act rightly in accordance with the truth. Chapter 26. Laws and Commandments. Since the laws and directives of creation and the laws and commandments of God are in effect, they shall be observed and respected. Just as the laws and directives of creation are the laws and directives for the spirit and for life, so the laws and commandments of God are the laws and commandments for material life and human regulations. God issued the laws and commandments to serve as material life and human regulations for that which is right, and also as a guideline for life. Thus laws and commandments serve as paths upon which humans should walk in wisdom and intelligence so as to be righteous. Thus, as the laws and directives of creation and the laws and commandments of God are to be obeyed, humans must not bring forth any other laws and commandments. The laws and directives of creation and the laws and commandments of God should be considered as the true laws and commandments and should be followed, since they alone have lasting validity and correctness. When humans deviate from these laws and directives, however, they bring forth illogical and inadequate human laws and commandments that are based on false logic and, thus, are extremely faulty. When humans are faint-hearted in consciousness, their laws and commandments are faint-hearted as well, and therefore they resemble confused teachings. When humans are presumptuous and disregard the laws and directives of creation and those of God, they are forced to bring forth their own laws which are flawed, however, and lead everyone astray. Man-made laws and commandments produce murder and all manner of evil, and as evil spreads and gains the upper hand, man no longer has control over it. Commandments and laws are valuable only when they are derived from wisdom, and hence are logical, but logic requires wisdom and understanding. Human laws and human commandments are powerless, unless they are founded upon the laws and directives of creation, just as God's laws and commandments are founded upon them, as He issued them in His wisdom. Proverbs of Wisdom. Truly, I say to you, wisdom must be learned from the laws of creation, which humans may recognize in nature. But if humans do not think and seek, they will not be able to attain wisdom and will remain fools. The wise do not moan about lost things, about the dead and about events of the past. Fools, however, cry over things that are not worth crying over, and thereby they increase their grief, privation and misery. Those who have acquired sufficient wisdom and live according to the laws, permit not even the slightest harming of creatures, when they are without fault. Half-wits and fools who are not masters over their senses mistake harm for benefit, benefit for harm, and the great sorrow for joy. Because people are not dedicated to wisdom and do not seek knowledge or recognize the laws, they harbor foolishness and vice. The dishonest, the stupid, grumpy, greedy, unscrupulous, uncouth and the angry will suffer harm for being poor in consciousness. When people duly receive daily just a little wisdom in their consciousness, they will grow like the waxing moon during the first half of the lunar month. Wisdom is the greatest asset of humanity, and so is the created will, which is Lord over love and happiness, but all of this is meaningless without the power of the Spirit. A fool who idly rests and waits for fate goes to ruin like an unfired pot in water. Those who take care of a cow always receive milk. Likewise, those who nurture wisdom and apply it through the power of the Spirit bring forth rich fruit. Recognize each law of creation, and once you have recognized it, adhere to it and live accordingly, because the laws are the greatest wisdom. There is no eye equal to wisdom, no darkness equal to ignorance, no power equal to the power of the Spirit, and no terror equal to the poverty of consciousness. There is no higher happiness than wisdom, no better friend than knowledge, and no other Savior than the power of the Spirit. Those who have intelligence may grasp my speech so they will be wise and knowing. The false teachings of Saul. When Jmmanuel had finished this speech, behold, a man named Saul approached him and said, "You preach a new teaching, and it has been strange to me from the beginning. It seems silly to me, and your mind appears confused." But Jmmanuel said, "How can you tell me that I am confused in mind when it is you who are confused in consciousness and do not understand? Truly, I say to you, though you are Saul, and you persecute me and my disciples because of my teachings, you will change your mind. Hereafter you shall be named Paul. You shall travel in every direction and make amends for having called my teachings false and my spirit confused. You will load great guilt upon yourself, for in your ignorance you will misunderstand my teachings and will therefore preach them incorrectly.